This is a presentation about Seismica, a community-led diamond open access journal for seismology and earthquake science. And I am Gareth Funning, and I'm representing a group of people that we call the Seismica Task Force, the people who are really the prime movers for this initiative and getting it started. Their names are all given here. And rest assured, these people had a very large influence on what I'm presenting here today. And outside of the task force, there is also a very large and active base of participants on our in our communications, including our Slack channel, which we have a lot of fruitful discussions about the future of open access publishing, and a lot of what we have put together is also influenced by those people. The genesis of the Seismica project was about a year ago, following the announcement by Springer Nature of their open access fee structure. It turns out to publish in those journals, most of their journals, open access, cost over $10,000, and even their open access strand, Nature Communications, costs over $5,000. And with other journals in geophysics, there are also similarly high article processing fees, obviously over $3,000 for several of the journals, and even the more open access friendly of these, such as Solid Earth, for a typical paper length, can still approach $2,000 in an article processing charge. So clearly, this is very expensive and very difficult for the community to afford. However, there is an alternative, which is Diamond Open Access. And Diamond Open Access is free to read and free to publish in. We have some successful exemplars already, such as Volcanica, which is a journal that has been running for several years now, supported by university libraries on a very low budget, and charges nothing to authors or to readers. And we wish to emulate something like that. So since the early days of the announcement of H's APCs in November 2020, we have made significant progress. The first thing that we did was the forming of the task force in December of 2020. We started a Slack channel, and through publicizing this on Twitter, building a website for people who are interested, we rapidly accumulated contributors on the Slack channel. We had 100 in very short order by the end of 2020, and now that number is over 200. We also, of course, established a mailing list shortly afterwards, which now has 300 people signed up to it. In these early days, we consulted with the people of Volcanica to get their ideas and their best practices down. We also hooked up with parallel efforts to establish open access journals in other aspects of earth sciences, such as tectonica. And those discussions led to a kind of a building of several links that I think we will leverage in the future for certain aspects of journal management. We launched a logo competition in February of this year. It was a very active and very high quality competition. We eventually selected our logo in April of in the middle of April, and you see the logo is excellent, and you'll see it all throughout these slides. In the meantime, behind the scenes, the task force was working on a report, which was essentially to define a roadmap for the building of the journal. And so for all of this time, we were working on that. We were able to get the word out through various invited efforts, such as an AGU blog post and a poster at the AGU meeting. We submitted our draft task force report for feedback in June. And after incorporating some comments, we published it, or rather we pre-printed it to Earth Archive in July. Around this time, we came to an agreement with the McGill Library to host the journal. This will be essentially for free. They will operate the back end and host the journal. And we're very excited about the possibility of doing this without any money exchanging hands, which is fantastic. It's part of the McGill Library's mission to support open access publishing, so we are taking advantage of that. In later months, we have been concerned with trying to fill our editorial board. This was a long process, but but from September onwards, we have been trying to build our core management team, which was basically finalized very, very recently, a few days ago. And now we're in the process of trying to fill our handling editor positions and team member positions. And all being good, we hope to be in a position to start accepting manuscripts in the first quarter of next year. So there you go. Watch this space. So the roadmap is a document you can go and read. I've posted the link here. Go find it. It contains a wide range of thoughts about what the journal should do and how it should do it. As I say, this was mostly written by the task force, but also incorporated some very active community members who wanted to add their thoughts. And so it's a very comprehensive document that includes things like the journal vision, the scope of the journal, the policies and the editorial structures, how we plan to do things, and it's well worth a look at if you are interested to see what we are thinking about doing. So a couple of the things that are in there, for example, are the scope of the journal and the editorial structure. The scope is very broad. We anticipate trying to cover most of earthquake science and seismology, from very sort of core earthquake studies of the earthquake source, to historical records, to structural seismology, computational and theoretical seismology, applications to planets, studies of instrumentation and seismic techniques. We'd like to also engage engineering seismologists, and also to include in our scope efforts to engage the community through outreach and to communicate our message more effectively. On the right is our editorial structure. This is somewhat under modification. The management committee was originally conceived as maybe a 3-person core, and we have already decided that probably is not practical. We've added a couple more positions. But outside of that core committee of people who are the day-to-day management, we have handling editors who will accept papers and obviously arrange for the review process, and then a number of teams that will help the operation of the journal, many of which duplicate some of the functions that a normal for-profit journal or society journal may cover. So things like copy editing and standards, things like technical side and production, social media and growth, sort of community building team. All of these things we will have to do ourselves because we are not working through a typical journal structure, and we are looking to fill positions in all of these teams as well as the handling editor positions. So far we have chosen our management committee. Here they are. I am one of them, but the other members are Carmine Galasso from University College London, Kate Reichert from the University of Southampton in the UK, Christy Rowe from McGill University, and Sam Teplitsky from UC Berkeley. These will be the people that in charge of the day-to-day running, but of course we cannot run the journal on our own, and we are now actively trying to fill our handling editor and team member positions. And of course, even when we do fill those positions, we are still going to be soliciting community assistance. Diamond Open Access, of course, as a journal model, requires volunteer labor to fulfill many of the roles that otherwise journal staff would do. So these include community building, like putting our name out there and trying to build our brand. And then some of the technical aspects, such as typesetting, trying to actually turn manuscripts into papers. Of course, we will be requiring help with reviewing papers, and then the sort of behind the scenes roles, such as copy editing and handling of articles. We're also going to need assistance with those. So even if you are not yet involved in the Seismica effort, we would really appreciate some of your help with some of these other things. And we will be, of course, soliciting this help through social media and other means in the days and weeks to come. If you're interested now, please get in touch. We will be delighted to hear from you. So to summarize then, if you're interested in taking part in this, please contact us and join us. Details of many of these things, including how to get on our mailing list and how to get on our Slack channel, are posted on our website, which is seismica.org. We also have an email address set up to field inquiries. info@seismica.org. Our task force report is posted to Earth Archive, and we are also on Twitter. Thank you for your attention.